Okay, so here we go. Third link, final video. If this is the first one you're watching, this is going to be a little video showing you how to make a cannon that will penetrate water. Chances are that you found this from the thread. And if you read all that, you're either crazy or a beast. Either way. Or both. So, yeah. This cannon, basically, it's going to be shooting multiple pieces of TnT, as well as sand, which is going to allow the two blocks in the air to morph, hit the wall, probably bounce upwards a little bit, fall, land somewhere around here, and penetrate the water. So first, let me go ahead and show you what happens if you don't use sand, which effectively means you're using this cannon, which can be found in the second video. Yeah, so let me just show you what happens without that. Okay. Yeah, otherwise it's the same cannon. Yeah, so you can see nothing happened. Come on now. There you go. Right, so now, if you use the hybrid feature, which is what makes this cannon separate or different from the other one, go ahead and place sand. There's 9 blocks. You can see it's falling through the cobwebs. Hit the button. Redstone signal activates, doing everything that cannon did, except for this. On a delay, the okay, here, you know what? 1, 2, 3. Alright, so maybe this is... Alright, I adjusted this because I think you might have to make it 9 on Desteria. Hang on, alright, sorry. Because of the lag on multiplayer servers, sometimes you have to adjust redstone to basically work with it. So what happened there is, since the timing was off, the sand wasn't pushed at the right time and didn't work as a hybrid. There you go. Yeah, so you're just going to have to make it right. Anyway, so there you go. That went through it. Yeah, so just a little edit I had to make. Let me just make sure. Yeah, okay, so just 10 repeaters on the left. Anyway, the way it works is the same as the previous cannon. These 13 pieces, or these 13 dispensers, set the propellant, which propels the TNT that's dispensed out of here via that comparator to shoot into that wall. The difference between the cannons is this addition here. On a delay of what I thought was 9, but actually needs to be 10, it may have to be adjusted to 9 on Desteria. I'll have to check that again. I don't remember which one I used. Anyway, set this up. 10 repeaters, sending a signal to these pistons. This makes the signal jump up. Put a cobweb here. Basically, the idea is sand will fall into this cobweb. See how it's slowly sliding? Basically, I'm going to have to wait for that to finish, aren't I? Yeah, okay. The idea is, when the signal gets here, it's going to activate the bottom piston, which breaks the cobweb, as well as push the sand into the chamber, which, along with this TNT, shoots everything in the chamber out through the cannon, through the barrel, and at its target. What makes hybrid cannons hard is that for sand and TNT to effectively morph, they pretty much have to hit a flat surface and bounce up like you saw, and then fall down and hit another flat surface. Otherwise, it's virtually impossible to make them morph into that sand plus TNT block, or the hybrid charge, I think I called it in the thread. Anyway, so pretty much you need to shoot this at a flat surface and have it land on a relatively flat surface for the most, like, continuous results. The most, yeah. So, now you kind of have an idea how that works. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make one. It's pretty much the same as the second link, except for just pretty much this little attachment we're going to make the piston concept. So, yeah. Make the little skeleton, but you leave an L shape here because the pistons are going to be placed. So, yeah, we'll get to that. got a slab. Anything that is being launched needs to have a slab, pretty much. I went over this last video, the exact how to make it. This time I'm just going to be more going over the hybrid concept. If you really want to know exactly how to make this, go back to the second link. But yeah, okay, so dispensers. On the 5th slab, 2 of these. Give it a little top so that it stays steadied. Again. This up, and 6 on each side. Into 2 blocks. Sorry for the frame rate. Another one, and water source. Okay, so continuing with the last cannon. Just get the repeaters down. That's triggering both dispensers, the propellant. Have it meet at the back of the center dispenser where there is a button. Connect it to the other side. And go ahead and set a redstone trail that will activate the TNT that's actually being fired, as well as setting up the comparator. This is the piece of redstone that basically makes it tick multiple times. I'll show it to you, but I explained that in the previous video. Yeah. So 7 fully set repeaters here. Okay. Connect it. And here's where it's different. So from this little area here, go ahead and build out 3. So add a 9 block platform. And go ahead and place your pistons. 6 pistons. Make a redstone current that will activate all 6. Redstone trigger. And then 10 fully charged repeaters here. Did I just place 2? I did. Alright, I believe that was 10. Okay, we're gonna have to, okay, we have to. 2, 4, 6, alright, we're good. So, thread on the cobwebs, get some sand into our inventory, and put TnT Cannon, and we ought to be good. It's not going to be enough, is it? This is creative, by the way, of course, if you can't tell. I would do it on Desteria, but yeah, I've been working on this thread for like last some 4 odd hours, so yeah. Okay, so here we go. Go ahead and get this sand on the hopper, and hopefully we set this up right. The amount of sand that you place here is the amount of sand that's shot, and so if you were to be using this as a sand stacking cannon, you would want to put a lot of sand there. There you go. Bounce up in the air, lands on top of each other, blows it wide open. So if you'll have noticed, you actually got to see, you can rewind it and look. Here, I might be able to, yeah, I can probably do this. Hang on. I'm going to show you exactly what the hybrid charge that I'm talking about looks like, so you can kind of have an idea of what you're looking for. Okay. So that's now an entity. This drops. This is what it's going to look like. Basically, at the very end, you saw the TNT kind of flip onto the top. That's the little visual glitch that happens basically when it works. Now, that would have penetrated water. I think, I'll just show it to you again in the test. But the key difference between doing it right here like this and actually, get out of the way, showing it as a cannon, this is the part that makes it tricky and why you need all that redstone. The sand can't be shot out of a cannon unless it is an entity. And I talked about this earlier. An entity sand is only an entity when it's falling. So that piston, that's why it didn't work the first time with the sand in the other cannon, because it needs to be pretty painfully exact as to how the piston's working. So what had happened is I tried to adjust the redstone channel, or current, for how I think it would need to work on Desteria, but yeah. So let me show you this. This is going to do nothing. Other than, yeah, nothing. Water nullified it. Now watch this. Hopefully this works. Yeah, there you go. The TNT becomes an entity as soon as it's lit. Sand falls, and the entity of TNT essentially morphs into the sand block. And I'll show you right here again. This is all information I talked about through the guide, but it's a little bit easier to visualize it now. So, as you can see, this block right here is taken up by stone. This 1 by 1 by 1 area is stone. Now it's taken up by water. The way that this hybrid cannon essentially works is when sand... So TNT set off, becomes an entity. Sand falls, hits the ground. Now, this, just like it was previously taken up by stone brick, it is now taken up by sand. So since the TNT is an entity and is able to morph into the sand, you get, rather than having their water be in this 1 by 1 by area, it's basically a block of sand with TNT hitching a ride inside of it. That's how a hybrid cannon works. And I'm explaining this because this is not a cannon I designed, nor the only cannon you can use. But yeah, this is the general concept. So hopefully using some of this information, hopefully you understood it, first of all. If you didn't, go ahead and read the thread if you haven't, because all this is information just visualized that should already be in the thread somewhere. If not in the rating area, then in the base defense. But anyway, so yeah, first link, you saw how to shoot a pretty basic cannon, how to shoot a reloadable multi-shot cannon in the second video, and just now you saw how a hybrid cannon works. You can see how devastating it can be. Hopefully this information and that of the thread makes your experience on Desteria a little bit better, and you learned a little bit. If you have any questions or anything, I've said this in all the links, go ahead and post it on the thread. Yeah, hopefully this whole thread was helpful. It didn't take me too long. The videos actually were the worst of it. The absolute worst of it. But, yeah. So, if you guys want to hang out in-game, I'm usually on Eldon. But otherwise, yeah, that's about it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful, and I'll see you around.